Richard Allen has been arrested and he was hiding in plain sight.
This is Reporter Room with Jessica Della Davies.
What's up, Reporter Room investigators? Boy, do I have a good case for you guys. We are talking about the Snapchat murder case. We're going to be talking about Richard Allen, who is a 50-year-old male who lives in Delphi, Indiana, and works there. And two girls, 13 and 14 years old, from Delphi, Indiana. This is a case of a wolf hiding in sheep's clothing. Today we're going to discuss Richard Allen and his defense team's bizarre new claims regarding Odinism. They are complaining that law enforcement did not investigate this. So, Richard Allen stands accused of doing away with Abby and Libby in Delphi, Indiana. He has confessed multiple times in recorded jailhouse phone calls to doing this crime. So what is really going on here? Richard's defense team filed a lengthy and kind of crazy motion for a hearing that claims that the girls were done away with by cult team members and that Richard Allen doesn't have any ties to this group. So everything I'm sharing is my opinion. Opinions are not facts, so please don't send any negativity to anyone. Let's be kind to each other. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. My statistics are showing me that only 30% of the people that watch my videos are subscribed. It's free. Please help me out and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a new video. So the defense team is claiming that all of the items seized in the search warrant from Richard Allen's home, including the gun that matches the bullet found at the crime scene, these all have to be thrown out. They all have to be thrown out because the search warrant was based on a, quote, faulty probable cause, end quote. So throwing out all of the evidence would obviously benefit the defense team immensely. They're also claiming that Richard Allen was forced, yes, forced, to confess multiple times on the phone in jailhouse phone calls. These confessions also need to be thrown out because they're not real. He was coerced into doing it. Now, Richard Allen was charged in October of 2022. They say that evidence linked him to Libby and Abby's crime scene. But Richard Allen's defense team said on Monday that detectives did not focus in on Odinism. That's right. They're upset because they don't think they think that the law enforcement should have been focused in on Odinism. So what is Odinism? We're going to dive into that, and we're also going to talk about straw man argument, which is what I believe the defense is probably doing in this case. So Odinism is, quote, this is according to the defense team. The defense team claims that members of a pagan Norse religion called Odinism, hijacked by extremists, I'm watching my words, ritualistically did away with Abby and Libby. Nothing, absolutely nothing, links Richard Allen to Odinism or any religious, culty kind of thing. Watching my words. Okay, so this may be true, but there is evidence linking Richard Allen to the crime scene, including that gun that was found at his house, which matches the bullet found at the crime scene. He also admitted to being at the bridge that day, and he's confessed multiple times in jailhouse calls. So what is really going on here? The defense team claims that sticks placed at the crime scene to form Germanic letters associated with the religion is one of several clues that indicate that the girls were done away with as some kind of a ritual. And they point to other evidence, including painting of a symbol. And they're saying that the law enforcement ignored and omitted evidence that led to the search of Richard Allen's home, and therefore all that incriminating evidence against Richard Allen should all just be tossed out because law enforcement did not investigate Odinism. I bet you there's lots of law enforcement agencies across the country in multiple cases that have not investigated Odinism either. So let's talk about the straw man, and then we're going to dig more into Odinism. So criminal defense straw man is a common tactic. It's used to provide the jury with reasonable doubt. In the Casey Anthony case, Jose Baez used Casey's father, George Anthony, as their straw man. So a straw man is a position or argument that distorts the opponent's argument. And in this case, that would be the prosecution's position that Richard Allen did this. It makes it easier to go after or attack your opponent's position if instead of going after their position, you go after a straw man. So instead of attacking the fact that there was a bullet that matched a gun found at Richard Allen's house, they're going to go after the fact that law enforcement didn't investigate Odinism. So here's an example of a straw man argument. So let's just say you're a teacher at a school and you say, I think it would be helpful for students to have this additional book on math to help them with their homework. Now, a person using a straw man argument would respond to you saying something like, your idea is silly because we shouldn't give out easy A's to students. Now, as you can see, this distorts the argument because the teacher just wants to provide an additional book to help with studying and never offered to provide easy A's to students. So a criminal defense attorney's use of these tactics to distract juries away from actual evidence, the prosecution could say something like, Richard Allen confessed to the crime in multiple jailhouse calls. And the defense team says, you didn't investigate Odinism. Odinism is their straw man. That's what I feel like is going on here. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. We have lots of smart subscribers at Reporter Room. So let's look at Odinism. What the heck is it? It's a reconstructionist religious organization named after the god Odin. If you've seen the show Vikings, they worship Odin. They think they're going to Valhalla. So it conceives itself as a, quote, kind of folkish heathen movement that's rooted in Germanic paganism. Paganism is just simply, the root word of paganism is villager. So it's mythology, folklore, runes, and it's the gods that Vikings worshipped. And it's been co-opted by extremist groups. So according to Britannica, Odin was a war god, and he appeared in heroic literature as the protector of heroes. Fallen warriors joined him in Valhalla, which was the Viking version, kind of heaven. So the wolf and the raven were dedicated to him. He had a magical horse with 8 legs and teeth inscribed with runes, and he had the ability to gallop through the air and over the sea. So they believed in plural gods, the Vikings did. And so this was one of their plural gods. He was also the god of poetry. So that's been co-opted or distorted by extremists. So the new theory, the straw man argument being put forth by Richard Allen's attorneys, Andrew Baldwin and Bradley Rosie, say that Abby and Libby were ritualistically done away with by a group of extremists entrenched in a Nordic paganism group, and they are saying that they want all of the evidence that law enforcement gathered from Richard Allen's home linking him to the crime scene, along with his multiple confessions and recorded jailhouse calls. Let's all toss those out because law enforcement did not investigate Odinism. Odinism is their straw man, in my opinion. What do you think of all of this? Subscribe and leave me a comment.